Oh, thank you, Samson. Yeah, thank you. Yes, so I have um I have some data I imported here already. And let me just show you what I have. So can you see my model view? So I have different tables. So this is sample sales data, right? I have different dimension tables and my fact table, right? I have manager. That is a list of all the managers and uh, their email. No, the manager's email and their channel. Channel is like a sales platform, like the avenue that every one of the sales managers are in charge of, right? So we have some people in charge of online, in-store, and we will see everything. We will explore them one by one, right? I have channels, right? Different channels of sales. I have city table that details, give me a detailed list of all the cities where the business operates, the city key, and the state. I have the product category table that tells me the product name and the product category. And I have the product subcategory too, right? I said that some classes ago that I said that you can also have product subcategory also, right? Okay, it was in the Excel class, not here. Uh, that sometimes you might want to do some analysis or bring out some insights based on subcategory of products, right? And I have the fact table here, which is the sales table that has, you know, a bit of everything from all the dimension tables. We have it in our fact table here, which is the sales table. So I will not go through all the process of you. I believe you already know that the process of importing the data and doing some cleaning on Power Query. Done that already. I don't want us to waste time on that one again. So we are moving straight to DAX. So let me just show you the table on the table view so that you see what the table entails. Let's start with channel. You see this, you see the channel key and the channel name. So channel key 1 is for store, channel key 2 is for online, channel key 3 is for catalog, and channel key 4 is for reseller. We have the city table. We have city key. It's all the cities, all the unique cities um, have their keys. That is what uniquely identifies each city, right? And we have the states where they are located, right? Right. We have Montgomery in Alabama, Junior in Alaska, and so on and so forth, like Atlanta, Georgia, and so forth like that. Okay. We have the manager table that has the channel key and the manager email. So you are still going to do some kind of separation to separate the email from the name, their name. So we have your names there instead of their emails. Okay, now we have the product category table. Every product has its own key, the product name, the manufacturer of that, and the brand name of the product. Now, subcategory, on the other hand, has its own subcategory key, product subcategory name, and the products category. So, you have the category here already. Oh, we don't have it here. Okay. We don't have it here, but subcategory name, and product category, right? And we have the sales table, right? You will see that you are seeing all the elements from all the dimension tables inside this table, right? We have the product key is there, product subcategory key is there, the channel key is there. We even have the promotion key. Although I didn't import the promotion table, right? We might not do anything on that. We might, if time permits us, then we have the city key also. Now we have the order date, the order ID. The order ID is like when you buy something, right? On the database, it's recorded as a transaction. And that transaction will have a unique identifier, which is the order ID, right? So we have the order ID. That is, for example, I bought something and I make an order, right? Maybe, for example, Jumia food or Uber food or whatever it is, or Uber Eats. And when you make an order, it generates an ID for you. That ID is the unique identifier for that your order. So that order is attached to you, to what products you bought, to what city that transaction happened, to the amount or the cost of what you bought and all of those things. So when you make an order, automatically it generates an order ID for you, right? The order date is the date that the order was what? The date uh the order happened, right? So the date, different date, September days 2025, September 4, 2022, and all of those, right? The unit cost here, the unit cost that we have here. Can somebody explain what you understand by unit costs? Because it's meant to be an interactive class anyway. Anybody? Unit costs. What do you understand by that in terms of production? Can anybody try? Shegun Akin, you can. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Gbenga.
Yeah.
So, by my understanding of unit cost, so when I hear unit, it means per. So
Yeah.
unit is the cost of producing a particular product, one product. So what is the cost of producing it? So that is my
Okay,
understanding
so
of.
the cost of producing per product is what you
Yes.
understand by unit cost, right?
So when you say unit cost, let's say
Yeah.
we have produced, let's say we are in a bakery now.
Mm-hmm.
So we have produced different loaves of bread. So what is the
Mm.
cost of producing one loaf of bread?
Yeah, thank
So
you.
that is the unit cost.
Thank you very much, Shegun. I appreciate it. Okay, thank you for that. Um, selling price. Selling price. Can anybody tell me what they understand by selling price? Selling price. Selling price. Anyone? Shegun again. Go ahead, please.
Okay, yeah, selling price is the
Yes.
price at which a particular product is being offered at the market,
Yeah.
to consumers. So
Okay.
if a loaf of bread costs, for example, 500 naira in Nigeria, so and the
Mm-hmm.
selling price is 700 naira.
Mm.
That means after we have produced that bread, so we take it to the
Okay.
market. So we are now offering it, to the potential consumers at 700 naira. So that 700 naira that we are offering it, that particular loaf of bread is the selling price,
The
whereby when
selling
we
price. Okay.
deduct the cost from it, we get our profits.
Thank you very much, Shegun. I appreciate it. Now, Shegun, the tricky part of this is that from the look of the data, if you look at the screen, this selling price, do you think it is the unit selling price or the bulk selling price? Or let me say the total selling price. What do you think? From the look of the data, Frank, you said it's unit selling price, right? Can you explain why you said that? What do you see? What's the logic?
Okay, sir. The reason why I said is unit selling price is because if you look at okay, the unit selling price is what's it called? I think there's another column I'm not seeing there, sir.
Which column are you not seeing?
That's the total cost column, sir.
Total, are you sure that it's not there?
Okay, but okay, the logic is that if you look at the and the selling price,
Mm-hmm.
the reason why I say is the unit selling price for the item is that
Hello, Frank. Is it your
uh,
network or is it you?
sorry, can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you, but you're just keeping quiet in the middle.
So can we see the total cost column, sir?
He's there, sir. If you look at data, sir, it's there. What do you know? Okay, we don't want to waste time. Where are Shegun?
Okay. So I think what he's trying to say is that you should scroll to the right hand side so that you can see all the columns. So
So these are all the columns.
okay. And so for me,
Yeah.
this selling price is not the unit selling price. The
Okay, why did you
reason
say so, sir?
okay, the reason why I'm saying this is because looking at the order ID.
Okay.
So the order ID is for a particular order, from a customer. So, and when we look at the order quantity, we are having 10 in that order, that particular order. So the selling price will be the total selling price for the 10 quantity ordered. So that's why I feel it is not the unit selling price.
You just feel, or did you check through the data before you conclude?
And the data is saying that we have.
You know that as a data analyst, we cannot feel.
Okay.
Yes, we need to be sure of what we are saying.
Okay, I'm saying
Because we assume that they just gave you this data and they tell you to work on it. And this is all they have. And how can you bring out something from it? So in your own conclusion, you said that is the total selling price, right? It's not unit selling price. Is that what you are saying, Shegun?
yes.
Okay, no problem. Can any other person, can we try? The selling price we have here, do you think is the unit selling price or the total selling price? Abimbola Falana, are you saying something?
No.
Okay. Any other person? Dollar Pop. Ayodele. Are you there?
Yes.
Yeah. I said, what do you feel? The selling price, is it the total selling price or the unit selling price?
I think it's the unit selling price.
You think it's the unit selling price, right? Why do you say so?
What did you say?
I said, why did you say so? That is the unit selling price.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear us?
What did you say?
I said, you said it's the unit selling price.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah. You said it's the unit selling price, right?
You said, is it the total selling price?
Or the unit selling price? I will allow Mr.
You said, is it the total selling price or the unit selling price? Yes, I said it's the unit selling price.
I said, why did you say so? Tell me why you said
It is the unit selling price.
How did you know?
Okay, so it's referring to each of the referring to the unit cost, each of the sales there.
Yeah.
Or should I say each of the products there? So that's why it's the unit selling price. It's not a total of all the products together.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Bejide.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, I try to check the order quantity.
Thank you.
Against the selling price.
Okay.
Then, sorry, please. Yeah. Order quantity against the selling price. Then against the unit cost.
Okay.
So I am at the order ID 7234.
7234. Okay, continue, sir.
So if you check the unit cost, it's 125.
Yes.
The selling price is 289.
Okay.
And the order quantity is 10. So I'm thinking the price here does not correlate.
Okay.
Because the total unit cost for that particular column should be 1,250, if I'm correct.
Yes. You are correct.
Something.
Yes.
So if selling price should be 289, total selling price should be 289, that company must be running at big loss.
So now that brings us to the question that this selling price I are seeing here, do you think is the unit
Yeah, so definitely it is per unit.
It's per unit. Thank you, sir. You got to where I'm going to. So look at the logic that Mr. Abejide just used now. To ascertain that it is either a unit selling price or total selling price. What did he do? He looked at the unit costs, right? And look at the other quantity here. And also looked at the cost of sales. This cost of sales, if you look at it very well, is the multiplication of the unit cost by the other quantity. That is, this is the total cost of sales for this other quantity, right? Now, if we now call this the total cost of sales for this quantity, it means that the total cost of sales, right, cannot be greater than the total selling price, right? So in that regard, we will say that this is the unit selling price, because it's not possible that the cost is more than the selling price in terms of total selling price. So this is definitely the unit selling price. That's where I'm going to. That's just the logic behind it. Nothing complicated. The reason why I asked that question is because sometimes, you know, as a data person, they might just give you data and there might not be anybody to really guide you and tell you that, okay, this is exactly how you are to do it. But because you're already a professional, right, it's your job to look at, that's what they call data exploration, to explore the data, right, to see what each of the columns really entail, to understand it based on the context, right, and not just based on appearance, right? So that's it. I think that is duly noted, right? So let's continue, guys. So now, in order for us to make this thing easy for us, let me double click on this place and just call it the units or selling price so that we are not confused. Okay. Just hold on, loading. Okay, good. Now, this is the total, this is the cost of sales, right? Let me change this one to total cost so that we are not confused, because maybe it's the name that is confusing us. Total cost is just the multiplication of the unit cost by the other quantity, right? Now, what other column do you feel we should have here? I know you might be saying that we should have the total selling price, right? That is the unit price by the quantity, but I won't do that because we are going to, so we are not going to create that as. So now there are two things I will do here. Let me just do it. So we can create what is called a calculated column, that is an additional column that is not embedded in the original data that you imported, right, from the source or wherever it is, right? So I can create this total selling price as a calculated column, right? Or I can either write it as a measure, right? Depending on what I want to visualize will determine how to go about it. But from what I know, I might be wrong. You might tell me it's wrong. We are all learning that because of optimization of your reports and your dashboard, it's not really advisable to have too many calculated columns, right? That you can have a fast load of your data. Is that correct, guys? If I'm wrong, you can tell me. So now let's have one calculated column. Let's create another column for the total selling price. So I click on new column here. I click on new column. I'll call this total selling price. You can also call it sales, like that's the sales price, right? Equals to what? It's not going to be, I'm going to refer to the table name and the column name multiplied by the table name and the column name. So it's going to be the unit selling price. So I type units, I already see it here. The table name is sales, the column name is unit selling price. Then I multiply this by the order quantity. I just type order and I will see it here already, the order quantity, right? And I'll press enter. Then I will see my column to the right side. So now you can see we've multiplied the unit selling price by this order quantity here to get our total selling price. Is that clear to us, guys? Is it clear? Okay. Please let me know if it's clear, so I'll continue. Okay, good. Let's continue. Now let's go to our report canvas now, and let's start doing stuff. So for example, you know that one thing that is important to stakeholders in terms of sales is what? Is profit. One of the most important metrics that stakeholders track is profit, right? They want to see profit. They want to see if you are meeting up with targets, right? They want to see if you are meeting up with targets. They want to see performance generally in terms of sales, in terms of breaking it down by channel, by manager, by city, by product. They want to see the product is performing the most in the market, where they are making the most sales from, you know, in terms of all these other metrics, right? But one of the most important things to them, to every stakeholder, is profit. Like, it's the most important. You know, that's why they always say that there is difference between reports and dashboard. So when you say reports can be any report. It can be HR report, it can be procurement reports, it can be logistics reports, it can be any kind of report. But when it comes to dashboard is where you pin important metrics and all of the other variables that you have, right? All of the other variables that you have. So the most important ones from every of these units, these departments, is now what you pin on your dashboard. So that you can see how the business is performing generally. Now, if you now want to go and do a breakdown, maybe by department, to see what the HR is doing, to see what the procurement unit is doing, to see what this is doing, then they can now have reports on that. So that's just the logic, right? Now, let's start. So, for example, to start, I'm going to create a new table, right? I'm going to create a new table, and that table, I will call it #, so that, because the arrangement here is, it will arrange symbols first before arranging A to Z. So I'm going to come here and click on Enter Table, right? And as if I want to like enter the, like I'm creating a new table by entering data by myself, but I'm not entering any data. I'll just come here and just change this to #. That's where I'm putting all my, or you can say calculations, anyone you want, but I always like using #, right? And I load this. I don't need to edit anything. There's no data there that I'm trying to clean. It's just an empty table, right? So I have it at the top here. So I always love arranging all my DAX formulas in just one place, right? So I thought I have it centralized in a table, so that when easy access, if I want to access that formula or to see exactly what I did, I can. Some people don't mind. They like scattering their DAX formulas in different tables, but well, the way it works for everybody is different. The way everybody likes it is different. For me, I would prefer to have all of my formulas or in just one place, so that I can go there and check. So now let's start. So let's say, for example, let's start with I want to see my total orders. For example, I want to see my total orders. How do I do that? Right. So I'll be writing a DAX that I'll be using the function count, and also use the function distinct count. So we'll see what the tool can do. Now let's start. I'll click on new measure, right? Now, the previous thing I did was a calculated column. This one is a measure. A measure is a standalone formula, right? It's a standalone formula that you write your DAX and you can use it to filter every other variable, right, in your report. So I come to my to make sure that DAX I'm writing is inside this table. The ideal thing is that I click on the table first. I can either right click here and say new measure, or I can just go to this place and click on new measure. It's the same thing. So I click here, I go to new measure, and I do a count. Now I say total orders equals to the count of what? My order ID in my sales table, right? The order ID in my sales table. and I click on enter. I did a count. Please, if your background is noisy, can you please mute yourself, or do I mute everybody now? I think I need to do that. If you want to say anything, you can just raise up your hand. I will mute you. Yeah, thank you. So what this was the formula I used. Total orders equals to what? The counts of what? My order ID. We can't do a sum of IDs. We can't manipulate that column because even though the ID is numerical, but because it's a unique identifier, so we can't do a sum of it. We are going to use the function called count, right? Now, how do you see when you write a DAX formula, you don't see your results until you bring it into a visual. So I'm going to use the visual called card chart. Yeah, this is the card chart. I bring in my card chart here, and how do I, put this my total orders to showcase my total order? And what do? I can either come here and drag it inside this chart here, inside this my card chart, and to give me my results, or I can click on the empty charts and just check the box here, and I will see it here. So any of the two ways it works, right? Okay, Ola is raising up your hand. You can unmute, so you can talk, sir.
Yeah. I wanted to get an idea of what counts and Countrows is, right? Okay, you have used counts in this scenario.
Yeah.
Can you for a test, I just want to test something. Can you also use Countrows as the function and see the result it will produce for you?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So
the reason I said that is that
all
because
the rows that you have in that table.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Hello.
So the
Can you
difference
hear
between
me?
the two is that, let me explain before I do the practical.
Okay, very good.
Difference between count and Countrow is that the count function, we count column values. Right? If you count, for example, when I'm counting the values we have on order ID in the sales table, right? The Countrow function, right? We also count table rows. Both functions we actually achieve the same results, right? Now, the difference is that I'm coming, just give me 1 second. The difference is that so I think for Countrows, I'm not sure if it's going to count a row that is blank or it's going to count it regardless. Let me confirm, please. I think regardless of whether it's blank or not, it will count it. Let's do it. So new function, new measure. So let me call this total order. Total order 2 equals Countrows of the sales table. Yeah. It's going to give us same results. So I bring in another card chart now. And I put it there. Yeah. It gave us same thing, sir. Hello, Mr. Ola. Oh, can you hear me now?
Okay, you just unmute me. Okay, very good. So now this data set is telling us something from what I can understand now. What I could understand is that the data set does not contain blank and null. That's the meaning of what I could understand. Because if it contains blank and null, it's going to give you separate results. So for the counts we actually skip the blank and null and just count the values, the specified values in it. But the Countrows will count everything, including the blank and nulls. So what we just tested right now is the fact that we actually discover something from our data sets. I think we discovered the fact that this data set does not contain blank and null, which is excellent. I like this. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Is there anybody that can also explain how you understand the difference? Countrow and count. What I have here, they'll do the same thing actually. But I think for better performance and optimization, I think Countrows is better. Yeah. Okay, let's continue. Now, if you look at this now, let me remove this one. Now, if you look at this, you see, I see 15K. Now, how can you change it to get the exact value? So let's come to this format of visual here, right? You come to call out value, and you come to display units and change this to none. You see that it is exactly 15,000, right? Exactly 15,000. Okay, now let's add a comma, right? How do we do that? Let's add a comma. I think I have to come to total orders here. Click on it. I will see measure tools on the menu items. Then I put a comma here. Then I see. So today we are not designing anything. It's not for design, it's for learning DAX, right? Okay, let's now assume that I want to do a breakdown of all of the total orders by different stuff. So for example, I might want to do a breakdown of it by different things. So I can use my, let me use my column, or let me use my table chart. For example, I can come here. Okay, Akinjole Bolaji, can you tell me how you understand the difference?
Okay, when you use Countrows, Countrows we ignore any filtering context on that particular row you are working with.
Yeah.
If you are using COUNTIF means that it should not ignore any filtering context on that particular row table you are working with.
You are taking us far already. Now count and you are dealing with count and Countrow.
It's a Countrow and COUNTIF, right?
Continue.
Do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, I'm trying to say if we understand filter context, then that's why we know that when you are using Countrow, that your filter context is going to be ignored. You get? Okay. But if you are using COUNTIF, your filter context is not going to be ignored. So whatever filtering that has been done on that particular row before, your Countrow will come, you get results with respect to those filterings.
Yeah, you're correct. Thank you, Bolaji. I hope you understand what Bolaji is saying. That we are using Countrow. Countrow will ignore any filter context, right? But when you do COUNTIF will not ignore your filter context, right? So let me continue. So I want to be fast because we have some things to do. So now on this table, I have, for example, my city. So let's say I want to see my city name. My city name, I have it here. I have my city name. Right? And I want to see my total orders that I just did. You see now, you see all the total breakdown of your the total orders and per city. Okay, let's continue. We've written just one DAX. Let's try something else. Now, let's say that I also want to know, let me just copy this one and paste it so I don't have to be bringing it one after the other. Let's say I want to see my total costs, right? What do I need to do to see my total costs? We're now going to use the function called sum now. So I click on new measure again, new measure. I'm using the function called sum. So this is total. Oh, why is this not going? Okay. Total costs equals what? Equals the sum of the total costs column in my sales table, right? And I press enter. So now we've done count, we've done count row, we've done sum. So I have it here. I'll just come here, uncheck this and check total cost now, right? This is my total costs. I can even also bring that to this table, break it down by the city, and I will just add it to this one, total cost. So it's going to break it down by different cities, right? Okay, good. Now let's do another thing. Let's do total sales. That's the total selling price. So we use sum function again. We come here, say new measure, and we say total selling price equals to the sum, right, of what? Total selling price, right? We'll come here, we'll close and press enter. And I can come here and drop that inside this one here. I have my total selling price. Now, one thing I said in the beginning, I talked about profits, right? And how do we get profits? Anybody? How do we get profits? We want to calculate profits. What's the idea? Selling price minus the cost price, right? Thank you, Abimbola. Good. So how do we get that? Now let's go back to our table here. Let's go back to our table and let's click on the sales table. You see that we don't have any column for that, right? Well, I've just said, okay, let's just create another calculated column to have total selling price minus what? The total cost, right? But we don't want to keep having, so many calculated columns, just optimization. So what do? We can use a function called Sumx, right? It's an iteration function that is, it calculates it by, row by row for you. So how does that work? Let's see how it works now to get profits. How does it work? We don't have to create another calculated column to actually get it. So what do? Is that we can use the function called Sumx. So how does that work? Let's see. So let's go to new measure again. I click on new measure, right? I click on new measure. So what do I say? I call this profits, right? So we already know that profit is selling minus cost, right? So what I'll do is use the function Sumx now, Sumx. Then I will, for Sumx, now, if you look at this top part here, you are seeing an intelligence telling you what does that function embeds, in terms of how that function works, right? Now it's telling me that the first thing I need to put is my table. So don't forget that the two columns I need to perform this calculation is on just one table. Is on sales, is on the sales table, right? So I type in my sales table, right? I have that here, comma, now my expression. What's my expression? Total selling price, right? Total selling price minus what? Total costs, right? And I close my bracket. Now let me expand this so that I can see it very well. Now I'm using a function called Sumx. It's an iteration function. What it will do for you is that it will go row by row, right? And make a calculation for you. Now Sumx, right? Now I have the table name, comma, the total selling price I have as a column, right? And my total costs. Sorry, let me be sure I'm doing the right thing. Total selling price, is this one, sorry. I made a mistake. It should be the column with the table, right? Total selling price minus the costs, total costs. I have as a column in the sales table, right? Then I close my bracket and I press enter, right? So how do I see my results? Is that I just dragged it and put this inside the table here. and you will see a breakdown of the profits by different cities. Now, let me have it as a, let me come here, paste it, copy and paste. Let me have it as a, on my card chart, so I just put it there. And this is my profit, right? Oh, I didn't do something here, sorry. This one is the total cost, and I didn't put total selling price. Okay, so this is the cost, and this is the selling price, and this is the profits. Is it clear to you up to this point? Can't row. We've done some, and now we are doing some X. Is it clear, guys? Shegun.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Shegun.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Gbenga.
Yeah.
So it's very, very clear. So what I just want to say is that, for us to better understand for context sake, so instead that's total selling price, I think it just be like sales or revenue. So that's
okay. We should name it as sales, Abby.
Sales.
So people are not confused. Yeah, I was about saying that also.
Yes, exactly.
I was about saying that. I will just change it, no problem. Thank you. Olubumi. Hello, Olubumi. I mean, Bola, I will send this data set to us. No problem. Olubumi, you're raising up your hand. You're not saying anything. Okay, I assume it's your network. No problem. Let's continue. So now we have total orders. We have total. Okay, I should remove you. Oh, I did that before already. Are you there? Can you hear us now? You are not saying anything. Or can you adjust your audio settings? Oh, we don't have much time. Please, maybe you talk later. We don't have much time. Okay, let's continue, guys. So now we have all of these functions, right? Now, there's something I would like us to actually explore, right? In organizations, they used to have targets, right? Sales targets. And so these targets, it might be like a year target, and they might also want to break it down per day, per month, per quarter, and all of those, and to see how they are performing, in terms of their sales towards the targets, right? If they're actually meeting targets or they are not. So they usually want to see that, right? So how can we achieve or see this? I'm using a case study of something that I did before. I was looking on that project. It was the first time I learned how to do it anyway. I'm going to also show us what I did as at that time. So now let's start. Let me go to it. Let me open another name page. Another name page. Let me create. Let me use a matrix chart, a matrix table rather. Right. So now let's look at our sales table. Now on the sales table, we have dates there, right? We have dates. So let's look at the date range. So in the actual sense, we are actually meant to actually create a calendar table. So the data here is from 2013 to 2016. Okay, that is clear. That is clear. Now let's create a calendar table. Right, very important. So I'll be using that table to filter every other table, right? To filter our fact table. And I thought the reason why we do that is just because number one, for optimization. Number two is always a good arrangement of your data, right? If you look at the time intelligence class that we did the other day, that Johnson taught us how to create a calendar table. So I'll just quickly do that. But let's go for like a 2 minutes break, and we'll come back to create the calendar table, and I will show you a case study of something that I did before when I encountered that problem of breaking down targets per day and using different contexts to actually showcase that. I will show us that. Let's go on a 2 minutes break. We'll be back the next two minutes. Thank you, guys. Okay, guys, let's continue now. Are we there? So let's create our calendar table, right? So we go to new table. We go to new table, and we say calendar equal. Can you hear me, you guys? Calendar equals okay. So I'm creating this calendar table based on what I have in my sales table, right? I'm going to be using the function called variable, right? And to write variable, now when I want to go to the next line, if I press enter, it will go to the next line for me. So what do I need to do to go to the next? I'll press shift and enter, right? Now I'm here. I use the function called variable. I'll call my first variable minimum date. I know Johnson taught us this, how you can create a calendar table. But this is my own simple way of creating it. I know Johnson taught us calendar, auto, calendar, and all of those. So I'll be using minimum and maximum. I'll be using variable, right? Now, so my minimum day is going to be the minimum. I'm going to be using a function called minimum, min, min, right? Minimum of what? Minimum of the order dates that I have in my sales table, right? And I close that. I'll close my variable. I'll move to another variable entirely, another variable again. And I'm going to call this one maximum underscore date, right? And I say equals to, I'm using the function called max, that is the maximum of my order date, right? And I close it, right? Now I will now say, now you have to use the function called return. What do you want to return exactly? So I say return, I'll say return, then this is where I will now use my calendar function itself. Calendar, right? The minimum variable that I created here, comma, it will be my start date, and the maximum variable I created here, the maximum underscore date will be my end date, and I close my brackets and I press enter. So let me explain to you what I just did. It's not something hard. So I want to create a calendar table, but I'm creating that calendar table in the context of what I have in the sales table, right? I do not want to just create calendar that will have so many years. So I'm finding a way to control everything such that the calendar table is only becoming bigger when the sales table is becoming bigger too, right? So if you pick it from the start of the minimum date I have in my sales table to the maximum date I have. So if I have a new transaction in a new day, the calendar table too also will have a new date, right? So every day my sales table grows, also my calendar table also grows too at the same time. So I use the function called variable, right? VAR, that's it, variable. So I'm defining that variable. In that definition of that variable, I call that variable minimum min underscore date. That is the minimum date in my sales table, right? And the second variable, I named it max underscore date. That is the maximum table, the maximum date in my sales table. That's exactly what I did. Then what do I want to return? Then now I use the function called calendar now. You know, in calendar, when you are creating a calendar table, you know, you can use the calendar function, right? But that one will just tell you to specify the start date and the end date. So since I already created the start date and end date as a variable, I just specified it again by bringing it back inside the calendar function to say minimum, comma, maximum, right? Start date and end date. Please, is it clear to us the way I created this calendar table? Is it clear, guys? Okay, thank you, Jim. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so that is just it. So now I have it here now. Let me go back to my table view. So I can also create some other columns to the right, right? So let me just change this to, it should be, I want to remove the time. Coming. Yeah, so I have just my year, month, and yeah, that's my format. Okay, Now create new column. I'm going somewhere, guys. I'm going somewhere. Column, and this one, let's create the month number. The month number equals to what? The month number equals to the month function, the month of what? The month of the dates column in the calendar table, right? I have the month number, right? I have the month number. To have the month name, what do I do? New column again. I call this one month what? Month underscore name. And this one will be equals to the function called format. Format, this is your date in the calendar table. The date in the calendar table, format it as what? Format it as month name. So it's going to be 3 M's, right? And I close that and I create my bracket. Mr. Ola. Mr. Ola, you can talk.
Yeah, I wanted to ask if you are using. Yeah, I wanted to ask if you are using just your table view to do this, or you're doing it in the Power Query editor, because it's kind of much faster in Power Query editor. Okay, I think you are using your table view to do it, right?
I'm using my table view, yes.
Oh, okay. All right, no worries.
I'm not using Power Query editor intentionally, because it's not everybody that will understand that.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yes.
All right, no problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
So so to create my month number, what did I do? I use the function called months, right? Oh my God, what happened now? What's the problem? Sorry. Did I do something wrong? Oh. I'm coming in, guys. Sorry, mistake happened. I don't know what I pressed. Let me just do it again. So my first variable, minimum underscore date, equals to the minimum of the date in the calendar table. Sorry, in my sales table, sorry. Then second one, max underscore dates equals to the max function sales order dates, right? I'm saying return calendar, right? The minimum underscore dates. Oops, sorry. The minimum underscore dates, comma, the maximum underscore dates, right? Okay. Oh, okay, now good. So the month name, I use the function called format. I said format this date column here, this first column here, right? Format this column as what? As months. So to give me the month name, right? If you want it in full, you can just put another M and you will see it in full, right? But I don't need it in full, just the short one is fine by me. So I'll come back. What do I need again? Do I need any other thing? Month number, month name. Let me just do day number and day name so that we can move. We can go fast. So day number equals to just the function called day and on the date column of the date table, right? I press enter, right? So we have the day number, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4 to day 31 or whatever, depending on the number of days you have in that month. So new column again, right? We go and say this one is now day name, right? It's just the same thing like I did the other time. Just say format, the date column in the date table, right? As what? As DDD. The other one is MMM because it's a month. This one is day. And I have my, I think this is what I need. I don't need something much. Yeah, so let's go to the reason why I'm doing this. Now, I have my day number, my day name, and everything. Now, so what do I actually want to achieve? What do I want to achieve? I'm going to show us now. I'm going to show us exactly what I want to achieve with this, right? Just hold on, guys. So now, let's have another column. Let's have another column. Oh, year column. Yeah, we can do that. So yeah, let's have year column. And also have, there's another column, there's another custom one I'm creating. So the year column equals to just year of what? It's equals to year of dates in the dates table, the dates column in the dates table. Right. Okay, I have that now. Now I'm creating another custom one. That one, it's just going to be the month / the date, the day. So I'll say month / day. So that one, it will be, I will not have to concatenate or just join together. So I'll just speak the month name, the month name, and I'll put a space. I'll put the AND function. This double quotes. I'll put a space in between. To put a space in between them, another AND. And what I need again is I need the day number, right? The day number, and again, I put another space, or let me just put a slash. Yeah, right? I put a slash. I use my and again, and the day name. So now I'm using the day name now. The day name, yeah, that's all I need. Right? So see what I have now, December 5, Thursday, December 6, Friday. Yeah, I'm going somewhere. Now, let's go back to our matrix table here, and I put that here, the month / day. I have that here, the month / day, right? Okay, let me try to increase the font a little, so that's going to be clear. I'm going somewhere. Am I doing this in the right place? Let me increase the header. Let's see. Okay, month / day. Okay, fine. So on bold. Values. What do I have to do is per coming there. Just hold on. Is my screen clear? Can you see it very well? Hello, guys. Can you see it very well? It's okay. I was trying to increase the font before, but said it's fine, no problem. So now, let me filter this down to how many years do I have here? Let me check. 2013 to what? To 2016. Okay. Let me just filter this table down to 2016. So I bring my year here, put on this filter on this visual. I changed this to basic filtering. Then I just took 2016. Aha. So I'm still going to filter down to the months because I can't have everything here. I'm showcasing just 1 month. So I'll pick my month name, put on this parts also. So I'll filter to maybe only December. December, I have only 4 months there. It's too short. Let me look at January. January is complete, up to 31. Oh, nice. But it's not arranging it well the way I want it to. Okay, I think I know what to do. So there's something I can do here. You see that January is not arranging very well. It's arranging all the 1 letter, then 2 letter, then the 2 words, and the 2 what's it called. So let me find a way to adjust that. So how do I do that? How do I do that? So I have to format this day number. This day number here, let me format it to, let me just put a format. Format this as what? Format this as 00. Let me see if this works. Oh, nice. Okay, so now 01, 06, 07, 01. Okay, let me see now. Good. Well arranged now. Do you understand what I did there, guys? In the arrangement here, it's not arranging this January 1, then the next one is January 10. It wasn't arranging it for me well. So what I had to do was to put the 0 because of 1 to 9. There's no 0 in front of them. So I have to put the 0 there so that I can have a good arrangement here. Is that part clear? So it is 01, 02, 03, and all those like that. Okay, good. Now, let's not assume that they have a target. So let's create our target by ourselves. So let's look at the selling and the costs. Let's bring out something. Let's put the target to be, this is total, right? Okay, let's break it down by year now. Let's do something. We are going somewhere. So I want to show us something. So I'm breaking this down by year. 20. No, I don't have some of it. Should not be. Don't summarize. Okay, 2013 to 2016. Then the total selling price. Let me pick that from here and put here. It's not breaking that down. Oh, guys, I've not done my modeling right. Oh, that's what I'm seeing. I've seen the same answer. You see, it's in the same total selling price for all the years. So I'll come back here. That's why data modeling is very important. So I come back here and I have to model my date table with my sales table. So the order dates, I'm going to join it with this dates column on the dates table. Yeah, many to one, single, cross filter, single. Yeah, save. Okay, nice. So let's go back now. It will have changed. Yeah, you see now, it's not showing you a breakdown part. So for 2016, the sales is 16 million, right? Is this million or billions? Okay, it's millions. Okay, it's 16 million. So how do I do this now? So let's say the targets. So let's break the 16 million into 12. That will be how much? That will be 1 point. I'm coming events. Around 1.3 per month. Okay, around 1.3. So now let's just say, let's create a new measure, and we call this targets. So let's assume that the target for January. The target for January. No, don't worry about that. Don't worry, I'm fine. I'm just creating dummy something. So target is 13. Let me say 15. 1.5 now. And so 1, 2, 3. Is it complete? 500. Okay. It's 1.5 million, right? This is our target. So I'm just writing it out there like that. Okay. It's 1.5, right? Now, let's come here. So this is our new page. And we have January 1, 2. So let's assume that January targets. So let me just call this January targets. January targets. Is this 1.5? Okay, good. Now let's put this January target inside the table. You see that it's giving me all the January now. It's repeating the same thing, right? Okay, January target is 1.5, right? How do I now break this January target into daily targets? So let me just remove this, right? So I'll come here, I'll say new measure, right? I'll say daily. So daily January target equals to what? It's not going to be equals to the January targets. So say divide. What am I dividing? My January targets by 31 days that I have in January, right? 31 days in January. Then I return 0. Close my brackets. So I'm using the divide function now, guys. Divide function. So we have numerator and denominator, right? Divide what? The January targets. That is my okay. Let me start. Let me do it again. Sake of those that I've not used it before. So divide, right? My numerator is the January targets, right? My denominator is what I'm dividing by. I'm dividing it by the number of days in January. That's 31, right? And I return 0 to give me false. I return the correct answer, right? So now I have this now. I have divided by 31 to give me like a daily target now. It's a daily target breakdown, right? Then I now bring this to this now, right? Now you see that, why is the font big like this? I think it's me that caused it. Okay, let me reduce it a little. Or should I just leave it? Let me just leave it, no problem. So now you notice something now. It's giving me that the daily target is what? 48,387, right? Now, the issue is that on the total also, it's also giving me this 48,000, but that's not what it's meant to do, right? It's not meant to do it like that, right? So what do we do? What do we do to make sure that this is actually giving us that 1.5? The total is here. Guys, what do you think we can do? Has anybody done anything like this before? How did you go about it? I want to know. Anybody any idea before I move on? Okay, so I'm going to show us something. Oh, since somebody is saying something. So the question is that on this total here, it should show me the total, but it's repeating the daily targets. What do you think I need to do to make sure that this total is showing me the total target for this January and not giving me the daily breakdown in total again? I was asking, have you encountered this kind of thing before? And how did you go about it? Because I want to show us a method that I used, but I want to have an idea if anybody has done it before. Okay, Balaji.
Okay, to the best of my knowledge, I feel it's because you are the operation is not summing that column, you get.
Yes.
So it's just repeating the same value down. So I believe row contest this thing has been ignored. I don't know if the word if it's ignored is the word I should, but it has been, it's not there actually. So if you have maybe you use something like Sumx to actually bring back that iteration something, that particular column.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Someone wanted to say something. Olubumi, I saw your hands up now. Can you
Yeah,
talk?
good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good
No,
evening.
Olubumi na woman. Good evening, ma. How you
Good
doing?
evening, sir. So, fine.
Yeah.
Fine. Thanks for the
Continue.
class.
Yeah.
What I want to say is, although
Okay.
I'm not too like versed in Power BI, but I just felt you should do a cumulative calculation that can look into yesterday, add it up to today, and then till the end of the
That's where we
month.
are going actually. That's where we are going actually. So we are getting there. So I just wanted to know if you've done this kind of thing before, or you've encountered this before. How did you solve it? How did you go about it? So as at that time too, I didn't know, but I asked around and somebody gave me a way of doing. So I'm going to show us how it works now. So let's start. Now we see that this daily targets, we divided it by 31 because we have 31 days in January, right? But we don't want it repeated. Just like what Olubumi said, it's supposed to be cumulative. It's supposed to be cumulative of the total. Like you add this, and give us a total here, right? So how did I solve this? How did I do it when it happened to me? So that's what I'm going to show us now. So I will now write in another new function again, another new measure again. Put another new measure. So now I'll do it in a different way now. So different way. How do I mean? We are going to test it. We are going to test it. So we'll now call it what now? It's daily January target 2. Let's call it target 2. Target 2 say equals. Now what we are going to do is to use variable. Now I use a function called variable, and I will now say this with values. That's the name of my variable. This with values. And this will now be equals to, right, a distinct count, right, of the days I have of the dates I have in my sales folder, my sales table, right? So I said sales order dates, right? Okay. Now that is my variable. Now I will now say return. Okay, I will now say return if. Now my if will now say the Countrows that we meant that the Countrow that Bolaji mentioned. Now we are using that Countrow now. I will say if Countrows, right? If Countrows of my calendar, if Countrows of calendar, right? Sorry. If Countrows of calendar equals to, if Countrows of calendar equals to 1, that is, if you see, if the Countrow, if it's counting, if it sees any dates, right? If it sees any value in calendar on your dates table, right? If it's equals to 1, I'm still coming back to make a correction there. Then divide, that's your January target. Divide that January target. Divide the January target by 28. Oh, sorry, by 31 rather. At 31 days. Return 0. Right? If not, or else, you should pick this your days with value. Days with value. Right? Divided by the 31. right? And multiply it by your January target. I'm still going to explain that. So now what we want to achieve here, let me break it down. So now our days with value is a distinct count of the distinct count of the dates that we have in our sales table, the other dates we have in our sales table, right? Now, we understand that, right? A distinct counts, okay? At least to give us a distinct count, so there's no repetition, right? Now, it should return for me if it is a date, that is, it is a value of a date on this table, right? On this chart, that on this table, on this expression, then it should just did what we did by dividing the January target by the number of days in January, right? It should give me this, which is already here already, right? Which we already have here. January 1, this is the target. January 2, 6, 7, 8. Now, if it now sees that there is no value, if it, for example, now this total now doesn't have a value of date, right? It should now look at the distinct count of days that it has seen. So assuming we have January 1 to 6 on this table, right? It's now going to be 6 divided by 31, which is the total number of days we have in that month. Multiply it by the January target. So that will now give us a cumulative sum. To give us a cumulative sum, right? So that cumulative sum is now what we have on our total here, right? Let me use an example to explain it. Maybe you understand it better. Just hold on, guys. So, for example, now, January 1 is 1,000. January 2 is 1,000. January 3 is 1,000, right? Normally, the total here is still showing 1,000, right? And that's exactly what we want to correct. So now, what we should have here ideally should be 3,000. What we have here ideally should be 3,000, right? But we are not seeing that. So what does this formula imply now? What this formula imply, please hold on 1 minute, guys, I'm coming. Sorry. Sorry, man, I had to pick a call, sorry. Okay, so what we want to achieve is that anytime it sees a date value on a row like this, right, it should return that January target divided by 31 to give us the daily, right? Now, anytime it does not see any date value, what should happen is that it should do 3 divided by that 31, the existing date that is there, right? January 1 to 3, that's 3 days out of 31, right? Should now be equals to, right, open bracket now, 3 divided by 31, right? Total days in that month, multiply by the January targets. So let me use I3, right? Enter. Where's this one? Give me this. I'm coming. Number. So let me put I3. Let me just put like maybe 10,000, for example. That's the January targets. So with this now, I'm coming. So let's say it's 31,000. Okay. You see now, it will now give me a total of the 3,000 now, because it's the number of days that is existing on that table multiplied by the total number of days of that month multiplied by the total targets for that month. Now we see 3,000, and which is the sum of these three. Is it clear, guys? Is it clear what I just explained? It's clear, right? Okay, good. We can move on. If it's not clear, let me know. Okay, let me correct something here. Okay, you said I should recap. Okay, I'm coming. Before I do a recap, let me just put this there. Just hold on, guys. I'm coming before I re-explain. Okay, let me come again now. Now, let me do this and come back here. Okay. Now, this is what you are saying. You know that before, right? It was repeating the same 1,000 for us at the total. Can you hear me now, Olubomio? It was returning 1,000 to us as the total, right? But it's meant to give us a cumulative of these three as our total. So the more we get to every new day, when we get to every new day now, we'll now be having 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, depending on the particular days that we are on, right? Now, it's meant to be cumulative, right? Now, it's not meant to repeat the same thing. So what we want to actually achieve here is that we want it to give us a total of these three, right? Instead of repeating. So what do we need to do? You know, when we wanted to get this daily, we divided it by the number of days in that month, which is 31. So let's assume that our monthly target for that January is 31,000. That means our daily will be what? 1,000, because it's 31,000 divided by 31 days. That will give us 1,000 per each day as our daily target. Monthly target is 31,000. Daily target is 1,000, right? Now, when we understand that, it's fine. Now, the next thing that we now want to do is that, to make sure that we get our correct cumulative answer, is that we now say, okay, well, anytime it sees a date value here, January 1, 2, 3, it should return the first initial one that we did, divided by 31, give me daily targets. But anytime it does not see any date value, right, it should now be that it would now multiply, or to say it would, what we are now doing is that we are saying divide the existing count of the number of days that we have. We have 3 days, right? Now that 3 now, divide it by the total number of days we have in the month, which is 31. Then multiply it by what? The January target, right? Then multiply it by the January target. It will now give you the exact cumulative, which is 3,000. 1,000, 1,000, 1,000 makes 3,000. Is it clear now, Olubunmi? We are saying the existing count of number of days that we have on the table, divided by 31 days for the total months. We have 31 days in January, multiply it by what? Total target. It now give you your cumulative. Is it clear? Okay, hold on, guys. Just give me a minute. I'm coming. Okay. Just hold on, I'm trying to get something. I don't know why my answer is not giving me what it should give me. Okay, let me share now. Okay, can you all see my screen now? What's our January target? January target is 1.5. Is it 1,500,000? Okay. There's a mistake here somehow. I'm coming. I'll check my formula again. It controls. That is giving me this box. How can this one be 72 million? Come on, guys. Let me try and debug this. Okay, let me do something now. That's my calendar table. Once here. Yeah, it's 1.5. Oh, okay. That means I'm correct. Oh. So that means that first one was not even correct then. How do you not get 48,000? The other one? That means that first one was not even correct. Oh, that means I'm correct. No. No. There's a mistake somewhere here. Why is it giving me 72 million here? It should not give me 72 million. If we divide 1.5 by 31, 1.5 by 31. Divided by 30. Yeah, it should be 48,000 something. If the countries of dates, January target. Let me look at what did I use in January targets. Okay. Maybe I made a mistake. So variable days with value is equals to 16 times of this. Right. Hmm? Okay. Divide the target by 31 days on 0 or else. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, correct now. Sorry, I saw my mistake now, Jerry. Okay, so putting this into DAX now. So this is what I did. So I created a variable and I said days with values, days with values, days with values, the distinct count of the dates that you have in your sales table, right? Now, and I said return for me if count rows of the dates table that we created equals to 1. That means that if it sees a value, of dates, right? If it sees a value in this date, this value here, in these rows here, right? You should do the normal division now and return the number divided by 31. That gives all this 48,387, right? But if it doesn't find any date value on the row, it should give us cumulative, right? It should multiply the count of the existing ones it has on the table divided by the 31 days we have, multiplied by our January target. So give us so if it does not see any dates, just like we have total here, it should give us the cumulative. Now let's try something out now. So let's say I now want to, I should go to month and year, the custom one I created. So let's try something now. Month day. Okay, month day now. So let's say I'm picking on January 1. My total will be January, my total will be the amount I have here. I pick January 2. You see, as I'm adding more dates, it's giving me cumulative. It's giving me cumulative. Is this clear to us, guys? Is it clear to us at all? It's giving me cumulative. Let me just copy this formula that I used on the chat section. Or what I would do is that after the class, I will send this file. I will send this Power BI file to all of us so that we can refer to it. Okay, Jidara, I want to ask a question. You can unmute now.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gbenga.
Yes,
my question is regarding splitting the targets among the 12 months that we have.
Yes.
You know, some months, for example, February has less than 31. So I believe it's safe to say that it's not splitted evenly.
I can't hear you on that part. What did you say?
I said, I guess, or I think it's safe to say that the target is not splitted evenly across all months in the year.
Yes.
So how can we get
you're just dealing with one particular month now as a sample.
Oh, okay.
By the time you get to another month again, you will change the context of your formula, or you can rewrite your formula such that it understands that when a particular month is selected, it's a different target entirely. And it will break it down in that context for you. Is it clear, Jidara? Did I answer your question? Hello? You can unmute yourself, Jidara. Okay, clear, no problem, good. Any other question before we go on? Trying to be fast. What do you mean by that, Gina? I don't understand this, your comment. Hello, are you there?
Yeah, hello, can you hear me? Hi,
Yeah, I can hear
everyone.
you.
She made a comment concerning that's the date if concerning if it was January, and I was like saying that if it was precisely maybe February, February has 28 days or thereabout. She could change the formula to 28. Then the
Yeah.
other one she could change it to 31 if based on the
Yeah.
numbers of dates in the calendar, so as
Yeah.
to end up getting a different the stuff for the target.
Yeah, you're correct. Okay, so I hope this is clear to us. Right, let's move ahead. Let's forge ahead. So let's try another thing. So now we understand this target thing. You can break it down by day and you can get cumulative and all of those now. So let's now add some other things there. So let's now see the actual versus the target now. Let's see actual versus targets. So if I continue to just, select, I'll be seeing cumulative, cumulative, cumulative. I hope that is clear to us now. So let me just select all. So we'll see all of it. Now, we have our daily targets. Now let's go to the actual now. So what's our actual? Let's look at the actual as per the sales now. So someone said I should change this total selling price to sales. So that it's more clearer. Okay, sales, right? So let's put the sales there now. And now see. Now we put the sales there. You see that in total, they did not meet the target, right? In total, they did not meet the target in terms of total. They did not meet the target, right? But let's now look at the daily comparison now to see what's the percentage they met. But there are some particular days that they will meet the target. They might not meet the target in the entirety of the whole circle, but they might meet the target. There are some days that they met the target. So now let's now look at the difference, right? Let's look at the difference, and let's look at the percentage targets that was met. I'll also write some function to do some colorization to see, to put a red if we are not meeting, to put a green if we are meeting, right? So let's forge ahead. So let's look at difference. So I'm writing another new measure. Right? I'm writing another new measure. This one, I'll call it difference. It's going to be difference between what and what now? Difference between targets versus sales, right? So this will be equals to, so how do we get the difference? This is the sales minus the daily targets. Daily target 2 that we just created, right? And I enter that, and I put that here, right? So now you will see that the days they did not, so this is what is remaining for them to meet the targets. That's what you are seeing on this difference. So anytime we are seeing minus, it means that they are 13,000 lower than the targets. But when you see a plus, it means they met the targets and they've surpassed the targets, right? Assuming it is 0, what does that mean, guys? If the difference here is 0, what does that imply? Can anybody try in the chat section? If you see a 0, what does that imply on this difference? The difference is the sales minus the targets. They met the target, right? Okay, but if it's more than, is what? If it's more than, okay. Exact target exceeded the target. Okay, thank you very much, guys. So we understand that now, right? Now let's now do a percentage. A percentage now. I'll now do a colorization of it, to showcase that we are tracking the metrics very well, right? So let's go to, just hold on, guys. Okay, so let's do a percentage. So say new measure again. We say new measure. This one will be percentage targets achieved. This one is just measuring percentage, the rate. So how do we get that now? It's going to be the difference. We say we divide this difference, the difference between target and sales, right? By what? Is it by the target, right? Or by sales? It's by targets. It's by target. Which one am I using? The daily target 2, right? Then I return 0 and I press enter. Okay, so I have to change this to give me decimal. I have to change my answer here to percentage. Change it to percentage. And then I just reduce it to like 1 decimal if I want to. Reduce to 1 decimal, right? Okay. Now I want to track this very well by using color. Now I write another function, right? That will tell me that if I have 100% above, that means I made the target, right? Color this percentage green. But if it is less than 100%, that's 1.0, then color this percentage target achieved red. So red and green, right? Now what we do is that we go to new measure again, right? We are using the function called if function now. So we call it color. Let's say color 1, in case we want to have many colors that we want to do. So it's color 1. We say if, there is the function called if. What's our logical test? If this percentage targets achieved, right, is let's say if it's less than 1.0, that's 100%, right? It should give me what? It should give me red. I put red in double quotes, or else it should give me green. I put green also in double quotes, and I press enter, right? So what do I need to do now to actually bring it on here? So I'll come to format my visual here, and I'll come to specific column if I'm correct. Okay, specific column, and I come to percentage target achieved. Oh, is it this place? Am I correct? No. It's not this one. It should be cell elements. Yes. So I'll put it on. It's on cell element, oh guys, cell elements. Yeah. So I'll come here and put it on percentage target achieved. So my font color. So let me say background. Let me use background. So background color. But I want to use a function, right? I'll click on this FX here. I want to give me that result based on the function. I come to format style and go to feed value. I already created a DAX for that. So I'll come to the DAX table and click on color 1, right? You should apply this to not only the values, but values and total, and the total too, right? And give me a press OK. Then it changes. Something is not right here. There are some that they met the targets now. My formula is not right. Let me go and check my formula again. So if it is less than 1.0, that is less than 100%, should give me red, or else give me green. What should I do if it's more than or equals to 1.0? Then it should be green. Then, or else it should be red. Okay, let me try this now. Why now? What's going on? If it's more than or equals to 1.0, Yeah, they made the target now. See this one now, 6.5%. Oh, I have to rewrite it again. Okay, I know we are making mistake now. So if I should not use, okay. I have to rewrite this part. So it should be on 0, right? Yeah, thank you. If it's more than or equals to 0.0, should be green, or else should be red. Thank you, Jerry. Yeah. So see, guys. So that means they met the target how many days now? They met the target 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's more than 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 days to 10 days out of 31, they met the target. But in total, they did not meet the target. In total of the entire month, they did not meet the target. Our time is fast spent, so guys. Do you have any questions so far? Any questions so far? So we end the class for today. So we've learned some DAX functions, make it at least attendance link. We will share that next week. Guys, any question so far? Any comments? Okay, Olubumi.
Hello, thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
So my question is, if we want to calculate to extract, like,
sorry,
to remove the weekend, let's say some people are not working on weekend.
Okay.
Like, we calculated for all days in January.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at it that, is it possible to get only the working
on a weekday,
maybe Monday to Friday alone, and Saturday and Sunday?
So
yes.
that means that on the database or your data source, that particular transaction is not going to happen on that day. So it won't be there in the first place, because we are working on what we have. You understand? But I've also done something before that is related to that in a way, right? This one I'm telling you, what I did was that my boss told me that he just said, okay, this is the normal target days that we have now. Like, this is the normal, our normal target per day. He now said that I should change for January 1 to January 10 to a particular amount, and every other one should remain the same. Do you understand what I'm saying? Every other one remains the same, like the way we did it normally, but only January 1 to 10 will change. Maybe I will do a video recording on that one, so that I will send it to everyone to see. Okay, is there any other question? Yeah, you get the video, Abimbola. You get the video. I assume there are no more questions, right? Okay. If there is, I will have taught us that other one that I said, that we can use DAX to change some of these, but when we don't have that time, maybe I'll just record the video, then from there we move ahead. So I don't know if you guys will be available tomorrow. We have to have the DAX studio class after church tomorrow. So I don't know availability of people. Mr. Ola wants to say something.
Oh, sorry. I actually wanted to ask a question that is not related to DAX. Is it possible?
Okay, yeah.
Like, is it possible to share?
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Okay. I have a scenario, a use case where I have 2 Power BI files. Okay. One file is actually holding the right logo that I wanted to use in the other file, right?
Okay.
So yeah, I wanted to use a logo. Normally when you want to use an image, a logo or something, you can browse through wherever it is and bring it into Power BI. But I don't have that scenario in this instance. I just have it already existing, the logo already
on another Power
existing
BI file.
on another Power BI file. That's correct. And I want to bring it into
the new one.
another Power,
There's a way
into the new Power BI file separately. How do I achieve that?
So now the two files, is the new one like an upgraded version of the old one? Like the latest, the new Power BI file. Is it an upgraded version of the old one? Hello, Mr. Ola. Hello, Mr. Ola.
Okay. You were asking if it's an upgraded version of the old one.
Yes. The
It's
new
still,
one.
it's still, yeah. The data set, the visualization, the reports, everything that is there is still
differences
there.
between the two, old and
It's
the
just
new.
a little difference, exactly.
Yeah. Look at
That's
this
correct.
thing. Look at this external tool I downloaded here. It's called ALM Toolkit.
ALM
if you want to do it, what you will do is that you open the two Power BI file at the same time, right?
All right.
You will click on the ALM Toolkit. It will look at the differences between the two Power BI files, right? If you look from your model to your Power Query to your visual to everything inside the tool, it will tell you that the file old and the new one, these are differences. You now tell it exactly what you want to match from the two. So what is in the old one you want to transfer to the new one? Or what is in the new
image.
one?
It's just an image. It's just an image that I want to move from old one to new one. Yeah.
Yes. So download this ALM toolkit.
ALM toolkit. Okay.
Yes. Yes. I can show you after the class. I will show you how to do that.
Oh, amazing. That would be nice.
Yes.
That would be great.
Yeah. Balaji. Can you unmute yourself, Balaji?
Okay, thank you very much. Actually, from the question he said, I was even thinking of using that studio for it, but I don't know how that ALM toolkit work. You get, but I'm interested in if you want to teach us on how that. Yes, I'm interested actually.
I don't know if I have. Let me check my files. If I have like two. Let me check. It's good we are picking out. It's part of what we are going to do before, but since you guys brought it up now, I think it's not a bad idea. Let me check my folder. I'm looking for Power BI folder.
Because the way I was actually thinking of if that particular what's it called? The one that has the picture, you can just extracted that particular column through that studio and just add it to the other Power BI just by
you can use that studio
the
to do it.
Yes, that's just my own idea initially. But with the
this ALM toolkit is very powerful. It was this guy that taught me, Muslim. The Muslim we have, the guy we have in the community was one that taught me. I'm looking for two Power BI file, old and new. I think I've seen one. Let me open it. I'm coming, guys. I will show us. The day I heard this AM toolkit, I was so happy. So it's something like this. I'm
Are you
coming,
showing
guys.
us?
No, just hold on. I'm still opening the file to confirm.
Okay.
Just 1 minute. The Power BI files, they are still opening now. Just hold on.
Okay, that will take time. That's fine. No problem.
This slow like this. What happened?
Yeah, when you have so many files open already, it's will be slow. Yeah, that's Power BI for you.
Thank
it's
God.
Always...
This one I'm opening. It has logos too.
Oh, amazing, amazing.
I'll now delete logo from one. And
okay.
I'll put logo on the other one. Now try it.
Okay. Okay, no worries.
Let's see how it works.
Exactly.
So guys, go and download this external tool, ALM Toolkit. Download it.
Well, for an enterprise, will they have to approve it from the IT department?
They need to approve it. You just have to tell
Oh.
For me now, for example, my last place of work, what I did was that I have all the 4 external tools there. It's 5 See my screen, ALM Toolkit.
My concern is getting approval now.
I have Bravo, I have Dark Studio, I have Tabular Editor. So I use them for different things now. You get so.
Yeah, you're right. But the problem is, when you're trying to get approval for open source stuff from.
It depends anyway. It's just for me. They don't have it on their list of whatever. But when I told them, they told me to download it. They now use admin password to allow me install.
That's the problem. That I'm saying that for a large organization, the approval process is usually very long. It's usually very, very long, and they might not understand what you're trying to achieve in a very faster way. Like I can remember when I was working on a Tableau that I wanted to set up, auto refresh. And they were telling me that, no, sorry, we're not going to, maybe you'll be able to auto refresh. I was like, hey?
Why now? Why are you doing that?
So, and they would be like, it's a policy. And this is like one of the top 5
what usually
banks in the country.
In some organizations, they have very strict
very, very strict
policies when it comes to their data governance.
Very strict.
So that might be a factor. So I will share my screen now, guys, so you can see this thing. This is not exactly what I want, actually. So look at this now. Look at this overview. Then I have training. I have these are my, what do we call them? 2 tips, Abby. Yeah. And the rest. So this is what I will do. Let me come in. I don't even know which one is which now. So many files opened.
Okay. You know what? Just open a fresh Power BI file. Let's just dump it there. Let's just do it as an example. It doesn't really matter as long as it's 2 separate files, and we're good to go.
I'll copy and paste this one, and I'll delete some things on this one. You understand me now? It's the same file, but I will copy and paste it, duplicate it. Then I will now delete some things in the second one. Let's do it that way. Okay, just hold on a few seconds. So it will take time. I'm hoping like 4 Power BI.
Yeah, Power BI is fun. So takes time.
Okay, one is opening, the second one is going to open. So what you want to do, sir? Is it only in terms of logos, are they?
It's just logo. You can imagine.
But this one can do a lot anyway. It can do more than
it's just logo. It's just logo. That's all. But the report is very.
logos
But
in the second one. We delete some logos in the second one.
The thing is that the report is very complicated. It's a very huge report and very complicated. So I'm trying to be careful because it's already in production. I'm trying to be careful not to, destroy.
No, the toolkit will ask you exactly what you want to bring for
what we built for 3 years.
So you
because
can filter,
they are like, be careful, oh.
I know. You can filter
we used
exactly
3 years
what
to build the report.
You can filter out exactly what you want to filter out, what you don't want to bring to the new one. Yes.
Okay.
So guys, this is the why did I have 3 opened?
Can close one of them.
Okay, yeah, this is the Ayodeji. What's the issue? Hello, Ayodeji.
All right, Mr. Gbenga. Okay, I just want to ask you a question before.
Okay.
Can I go ahead?
Please go ahead. Go ahead before we continue.
It's just a simple one. So I want to ask, for DAX, like which functions would you consider basic that one can build on to master DAX? I mean, which
yes, those are the ones I just taught this morning. The sum, divide. There's one that I didn't actually do. Maybe I'll do a video recording on that one. Calculate and filter, right? So this morning I did divide, I did sum, I did Sumx, I did if, I used variable, right? Okay. Those are the general basic ones that you need. Calculate and filter too. I didn't do that actually, but I was meant to do it actually. Or I might do that before we end the class. So I will just quickly do that and show you. So the thing is that I will still send us like a PDF material, right, about DAX. Right. As a guide. So from the basic ones, intermediate ones, and to the advanced ones. So, but one thing I will tell you is that know what each one can do, but how you actually be good with that is based on projects. I won't like you. It's based on projects. Because if you know a lot of that now, well, when it now comes to applying it in a contextual manner, now it's what now makes us say, this person is actually good with that. Exactly. Able to apply it in context, because different organizations, the way they measure their metrics can be very funny. And you have to be able to use DAX to actually bring out the calculation based on their own context of calculation.
Yeah, exactly.
You understand? Yeah. So that's just that. I'll send us the material on it. So don't worry.
All right.
Yeah, thank you. And I think another way to actually master that is to ensure that you understand the business itself. Right. When you understand the business, you can actually do a small mathematics calculation. 1 + 1 = 2. You understand? Oh, this is 1 + 1. You will now go back to DAX and relate it with DAX. You understand that? Okay, what is 1 + 1 in DAX? What does it mean? How do I achieve 1 + 1 in DAX? Once you understand that process, then it becomes more simpler and easy to use.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So let's continue now. So on this one is the original one. This is the copy. So on this one, let me delete this logo. Let me delete this logo. Let me even remove this one, Seth. Remove. Come to this one and also remove. Can you see the difference between the two now, guys? Can you see the difference? This one has no logo. This one has logo.
Yeah, we can see.
Can see it, Abby? Okay. So let me now open my ALM toolkit now.
Okay.
Power BI ALM toolkit. I will send the setup file to us.
All right. So thank you so much.
You can install on your what's it called? You can install on your personal computer for practice.
Even
so now I
though
have my ALM toolkit now. So it's showing connections. So my connection is my local host. That is my local computer now. Right? That's my connection. So leave everything as it is by default. So you're saying source and target. Both are on, but the two are on what's it called? The two are on my local computer now, both my source file and my target file, Abi, right? So put it on. Okay, well, I can just say, click on Power BI desktop. So my source is, which one is my source?
The source is the one without copy.
Is the one without copy.
Yeah, the one without copy.
Then my target, come here.
Is the one with copy.
Is the one with copy. Yeah, exactly. So you see what I click on, guys? This one, then I click on OK. Now it will process it and look at the differences, right? So this is what they have in common, right? You click on the formulas or the functions, you are seeing that everything is, even your model is the same, right? It's the same. Okay. Let's go ahead. Relationship. This one. All the tables. Okay. It's not showing me that difference, so I'm coming. Click on compare. Oh, no. No. Okay, let me click on report differences. Okay, Gina downloaded. Nice. I'm coming. Try something. Let me close it first. Let me do something. Let me go to the copy. Let me go to the copy and let me delete a function, a formula. Okay, I have train staff.
But this is not the copy. This is the original one.
Sorry. Where's your copy safe? Okay, sorry. I've seen it now. So let me delete this train staff. Let me delete it. Delete from model. Yeah, delete. Okay, it's going to affect all of this, I know. Okay, good. Now, let me go back to ALM Toolkit again. Oh, sorry, I have to save it first. Save. Okay. Now ALM Toolkit now.
Are you not supposed to go to ALM Toolkit directly from the Power BI?
No, if I do that, it means that I'm saying that particular one is my target. I can do that.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
Yes. So this one, so copy. Yeah. Okay. So I want to see the difference. Okay, now I think it's telling me something. Aha. See that this one is showing plus now. It's telling me that it's missing. It's missing in the targets. Right? It's telling me that all the other DAX functions I have here, they are all the same. Now I deleted train staff now. It's telling me that it does not exist on the target, but it's on the source. Right? So I can click on create. I can click on create, right? Now, when I'm done, what do I do? What do I do when I'm done? See, update or validate selection. I'm coming. This thing is not as hard as I'm coming on. The day I did it. Okay. The update key is back now. So I just click on updates, right? I'll click on updates. Are you sure you want to update the target? Yes. And that's it. That's deployed it. Do you want to refresh the comparison? Yes. Okay, so let's go to the other file now. The copy. And I see that I have it now. The copy.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I have it now. I don't understand what you're saying, Oshegun.
Yeah, the image. Image.
Everybody to almost themselves now. If you want to talk, you can talk now. So for the part of image, yeah, let me go and see. It's not showing me anything image. I'm only seeing model, table, measures, table.
Because what my expectation is that it will show something related to visual. Then under visual, you can now see that the image. Because what I can see categorization of the model, the table, the measure, the relationship.
Yeah.
I could see this categorization. I was expecting it to also show me visual categorization.
Coming. I don't think it works for that. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Let me take this thing here. Comparison options. I'm coming for perspective, update image selection, cultures, rows, consider partition, consider image tag for tables of this retain partition, for table of this retain refresh policy, for table of this retain storage mode, display this one, processing option, recalc, default, do not process, full. There's no option of that image something.
I get it. Yeah.
There's no option.
Okay, no worries.
No option for that. Yeah. So it's only on table, on that, on measurables, and that's the only part. Yeah. That's the reason that really. If you click on it,
Hello, Mr. Ola.
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, Mr. Gbenga. Good evening, Mr. Ola. Good evening, everyone. Okay, so Mr. Ola, have you tried copying the image manually from one of the file to the other file?
I'm not sure.
Yes, that was what I tried. That was what I tried in front of the stakeholders yesterday when I was like, this should be simple now. So I just tried copying, then moving it, pasted it. So when I pasted the what's it called? The visual format it is containing, the image it is containing inside. So what dropped was the just the frame, the image dropped in the other file. Yeah, it didn't drop. So, and I did something else again. I did format painting. I copied, then painted, use that format painter, okay? So that it could do everything that's there. So I just dropped it on that one too. It didn't, no action performed as well. So that's what I've explored so far.
Sorry,
but
sir, were you
morning,
trying this on
before
Power BI service?
No, I was trying it on Power BI desktop. Yeah, because I don't want to mess up my production at all. My workspace. I don't want to. I don't want to do it because we used 3 years to build it, so I don't want to mess it up. So yeah. So that was what I've done so far. But when I woke up this morning, I also I've been researching since last night. So I also saw something that Power BI will not allow you to do such a scenario. It will never allow you to do that. So, but they said that you can change PBIX file. You can change it to, I think, JPEG or something. You can change it to JPEG or something. So, but there's a process for it. You'll be clicking. There's a lot of process for it. And I have a lot of images on the report, so many images on the report. So the sample that I saw that person only used one image. I could see that it's just one image that was, but me, I have a lot of images on different pages because the report is really big. So I've been trying to find solution, and I must present solution to the stakeholders. First thing on Monday morning, they must use it first thing on Monday morning. So I have the whole weekend to sort it out.
All right. I'll also research at my end.
That would be
If
great.
I get anything,
That would be great.
I'll drop on the
You
chat.
can drop it with Gbenga. Yeah, you can just drop it with Gbenga. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. I'm very grateful. What's your name?
You're welcome, sir. Anna is my name.
Ano. Thank you so much, Ano.
You're welcome, sir.
All right.
Okay, somebody was asking me that how can they download the ALM toolkit? So just go to your browser. Right, go to your browser and just type ALM toolkit. Get to the home page here. You just click on download the latest version, and that's all. And when you are done, install it. That's all. No big deal. So we are done for today, guys. So our class for tomorrow will be 8 p.m. Is that okay by us?
That's fine, Mr.